How you doing? Well, I'm doing just fine. I lied, I'm dying inside.
What's up, everybody? Today I'm talking about episode 5, season 11, Ghoulie of the X-Files. If you're watching this, it means you survived the episodes. Fans have been waiting for Mulder and Scully and William to be reunited for a very long time. Let's take a look at that scene at the end of Existence when all three were together.
No.
I think a lot of fans of the series would have been happy if the show had ended right here. So I'm going to sit down, I'm going to look at the episode again and go scene by scene and see if there's anything that I missed. Let's go! One thing I do want to say is that everything that we have seen so far in season 11 has far surpassed everything that we saw in season 10. So far, I would say season 11 is far exceeding my expectations. The whole thing with William is he's kind of something I feel the writers of the series have ignored and thrown off to the side, just as Scully mentioned in Home Again. She didn't want to feel like she threw him away as trash. And I feel like that may have been the writers acknowledging that maybe they did throw his storyline away as trash, because why create this character? And why have Scully have this miracle child? It's not just a regular love child. Not only is it a super baby, it is the baby of Mulder and Scully. Mulder and Scully invented the word shipping. So the child is a product of their ship. And for them to throw that to the side and say, we don't want that to be in part of our storyline after introducing it to our storyline, I'm unhappy with that. I was unhappy with that decision. I'm glad that they are finally dealing with William and giving him some type of storyline here. However, I feel that we're already halfway through the season and we're just getting to it now. So we've done all of season 10 with pretty much avoiding William, and now we're halfway through the season 11 and finally we get to meet William. And they was a little bit misleading at first because we weren't sure it was William, but we pretty much knew it was William. I feel like we could have the next 5 episodes just devoted to William. You know, I was talking with a couple other fans and they were saying, maybe William's storyline should be a movie. William could have his own spin-off series. I think even David mentioned the series could work as a William spin-off. And there's so much about William we don't know. I think William's adoptive parents being killed off has been pretty canon in almost all fanfic. That was no surprise that they got killed off. I think pretty much every fan expected William's adopted parents to be killed off. If ultimately they're gonna reunite William with Scully and Mulder, I will be happy. I don't want it to be in the last minute of season 11, episode 10. I don't want it to be in the last 30 seconds like we got in Existence. I want to see him interact with them a little bit. I wish that they would devote a little bit more time to this in this season. So I don't know what's going to happen in the next few episodes. I know the next episode is more around Skinner, which I'm super, super excited about. I'm very much looking forward to. I can't wait to see Mitch. We get a 2-week break after that because of the Olympics, and then we come back on the 28th of February. I really hope that we do get to see a little bit more of William before the last episode, because as someone that was a fan since the 90s, to have to wait almost 20 years for this is not an easy thing to see them come so close. But I've talked enough about that, so let's watch the episode. So the episode actually starts off in what appears to be a Monster of the Week episode. We see the monster appear, which is a horrifying sight. A couple people thought that the monster looked a little bit hokey. I thought the monster was actually horrifying. He then attacks the 2 girls, but then we see what's really happening is the 2 girls are actually attacking each other and slicing each other up. And then in the opening credits, we see, "You see what I want you to see." So basically Scully has her monologue, she's in the house, she's searching for a hooded figure who she's following in what we learn later is going to be the Vandecamp's house. And inside the Vandecamp's house, it leads her to a bedroom, and in that bedroom is the snow globe of the Chimera ship. So guys, I just want to take a second to talk about this bit of information in the beginning when Scully is dreaming about the house that we learn later is the Vandecamp's house. And she comes in here, as you guys, because I'm going to turn the volume down on this a little bit. As you can see, you know, we know she's chasing this. Ultimately, this is William, who is Jackson. This little snow globe. We find out that in the dream, she actually dreamt of this Chimera. So Chimera is an X-Files that goes back to season 7. This is also the name of the ferry where the girls had their encounter with Ghoulie. But Scully saw this Chimera boat, ferry, in her dream. And in the dream, she saw the snow globe. Now, I want to take you guys to this page right here on Ghoulie.net. If you go to the website, there's a story called Mississippi Delta Waves, and it's by a raver, which we believe to be William. And you see what appears to be the Ghoulie and the boat right here. Here he talks a lot about these snow globes and how he collects them. So this story ties into, you know, what he sees in these snow globes is a story, and it's a happy story, but he sees something different. So I just wanted to point out that it didn't really go into the episode. So Scully and Mulder go down to visit the boat, the Chimera, where this happened with the two girls. When they get on the boat, Scully takes a second and she looks out and she sees a guy. And later on we find out this guy is actually William in disguise, projecting himself as this older guy. She looks away and then she looks back, he's gone. And you see her like take that in a second. They look up Ghoulie online, they go to the website, they go to Ghoulie.net, which we've all been looking at, and they find that many of the stories are posted by a raver. Now, they also note that this is fan fiction, but how much of it is fiction? Is this something that William created in his head? So they go to the hospital and they talk to the girls. The girls saw each other as this monster, and they were drawn there by a dream that parallels Scully's dream of chasing this shadowy figure. Pretty much Scully's having the same dream as these two girls, but not only that, it becomes extremely personal when they say Jackson Vandekamp.
Jackson Vandekamp. Jackson Vandekamp.
Whoa, 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 whoa. This is where it becomes extremely personal. It's very personal for Mulder and Scully, and what happens next is even more personal.
I start to cry. I can't look.
Mulder and Scully then go to the Vandekamp house, and Scully gets out of the car and says, "I feel like I am about to fall off a cliff." Mulder and Scully are then led inside the house by the gunshots, where they discover that two adults on the floor who have been shot. Scully goes upstairs to a bedroom and discovers a body of a teenage boy who has been shot. We know, fortunately, we know through the previews that William is not dead. A lot of people don't think that Mulder showed enough emotion. I think that Mulder is putting on a mask for Scully and is trying to be there for Scully and keep his shit together as much as possible, but I do see a lot of internal torment going on in Mulder's eyes. And if you look at his expressions, it's really affecting Mulder too. He just is showing it in different ways. We've seen him break down several times throughout the series. I think at this point he was trying his best to get to the bottom of what was happening because he wants answers for him and he wants answers for Scully.
Okay guys, we're gonna take a look at the scene. Don't worry, we're gonna get through this together. Heart-wrenching as it is. Yeah. This is not, yeah. This face pretty much says it all. He's biting his lip. I mean, guys, he's heartbroken. I don't care what anyone says, he's fucking heartbroken. So we know that, what do we take from the scenes? He has a telescope in his room. He has a telescope in his room. He's drinking some type of soda, looks like a monster drink.
This is wrong. I recognize it from my dream. Birthday, Halloween, vacation.
It's full. I'm still cold. Odd choice to crack open a can of soda before you decide to kill your parents. Pickup artist, memoirs of a wolf in sheep's clothing.
No, it wasn't that pickup artist. It was, there's another pickup artist from an 80s movie with Molly Ringwald and Robert Downey Jr.
Maybe even schizophrenic. I was seeing a psychiatrist.
Okay, so we learn also that he was seeing a psychiatrist.
Malcolm X.
The future belongs to those who prepare for it today.
This is a lot to take in about William. He has two girlfriends. He has a Malcolm X poster. He's reading a book about the pickup artist. And he's on these psych meds. Of course he's going to have problems. He's not going to be the perfect child. So I think this actually plays well. Gives him and fleshes out the character a little bit and gives this guy a lot of layers and a lot of backstory. Again, it's a lot for us fans to process, but I also think it's very good writing. So good job with that.
Scully takes the snow globe that has the windmill in it, and Mulder confronts the two gentlemen outside that he suspects has been following him. They're cracking jokes about the bodies, and I think what Mulder says is very telling.
You have no idea my state of mind.
We get to the hospital where Scully is next to what we believe to be William's body in the body bag, and Scully goes through this very, very emotional monologue, talking to William, pretty much apologizing for not being there, for maybe making the wrong decision, all the guilt that she's feeling. And when someone that you love or care about passes away, there's a lot of different stages of grief, and guilt is one of them. But having never known and having to question what she did for him, it's very heart-wrenching. I did feel for her during this monologue, but because we've seen in the promos the clips and glimpses of this character unzipping his body bag and sitting up, he's basically playing dead the whole time that she gives this monologue.
I'm so sorry.
The thought that he heard all of this is actually kind of comforting to me, that he knows how much his parents really do love him and how much they regret. Miles Robbins tweeted a really sweet, nice tweet saying, "Thanks for welcoming me into the X-Files fandom. I know there have been some conflicted opinions on how his performance was. Some loved it, some hated it. Overall, I like what he did." Again, the whole time I'm just waiting for him to wake up because we know he's not dead. As much as my heart was being ripped out by Scully's monologue, I just wanted him to wake up. I'm like, get up, come on, show her you're alive, come on, stop playing dead, because we know he's alive. And when he finally did sit up, it was just as bone-chilling as what we saw in the promos. We're then taken to a dream sequence where we're seeing Scully. She's following the character we know now as William. This vision leads her to a hospital room with the snow globe and the windmill. And then we see flashes from the season 10 finale, My Struggle 2, where Scully's looking at the spaceship overhead. And then Scully's woken up by the coroner, who asks, "What have you done with the body?" Of course, no surprise, Jackson's body is missing, and we know it's missing because we know that he got up and walked right out. Scully really wants to believe that he is alive, but now Mulder is very skeptical of this whole situation. Mulder also says he has to talk to her because it's not good news. I assume that at this point it is Mulder has gotten the results from the DNA test, and it is confirmed that this is indeed William. She also shows Mulder the snow globe with the windmill that she's taken from William's room. And then Scully leaves and encounters the gentleman who we learn later is indeed William, but he's disguised himself as this author, as this man, and has a conversation with her outside of the hospital. And I believe this is because he wants to interact with her. He wants to connect with her on some level. At this point, we do not know that this gentleman is William. And he tells her, don't give up on the bigger picture. I suspected something was up with this character and he was somehow connected to all of this, but I wasn't sure what his role was. We then see Mulder and Scully back at the house. Scully's going through his journal. And if you look at his journal, you'll see some of the drawings that we see on Ghoulie.net. They find the secret laptop under the mattress where it's revealed that there are a lot of logins to Ghoulie.net. And it appears that William has hacked into files that are owned by the DoD. And then briefly before the DoD agents come in, we learn that William is indeed researching Project Crossroads. Mulder talks on the phone with Skinner. Skinner says, get your ass back here. Mulder says, no, get your ass here. Well, it turns out that Smokey is in the office with Skinner. Is this all part of Smokey Man's plan or not? I'm not quite sure. It's still unclear where Skinner stands in all this, if he's made this deal with the Smoking Man, if he knows exactly what's happening.
I can't hear you.
Mulder.
Yeah. Yeah.
First, then we finally get a scene between Mulder and Skinner. Skinner reveals that this is all part of a program to create alien-human hybrids by combining alien and human DNA, and that Jackson, aka William, was part of that. Mulder tells Skinner that Jackson is William. Obviously, William was one of these test subjects. I'm not sure if Skinner knew that Jackson was William. As far as I know, they're trying to actually find William. The Smoking Man has sent Skinner to find William. And if William is dead, then where does that leave Skinner and the Smoking Man's plan? Something else Mulder reveals is that he checked William's DNAs against Scully's. He did not say he checked it against his own. I wonder why. I don't know if that was done intentionally or not. It makes me a little suspicious that he wouldn't have checked it against his own. Scully then goes to see Dr. Schultz, who then confirms that William is having the same vision as Scully did about the end of the world. Mulder's got this all figured out. Mulder is 100% on to Jackson. He knows that he faked his death. He knows that he didn't kill his parents. He knows that William hid from the DOD agents because he was part of this Project Crossroads and they were after him because he was a test subject. And he also knows that he is projecting these other images. So these other images are an alternate reality that William has created to hide from the DOD agents and to protect himself. We then get our first bit of dialogue with Jackson, and he's talking to his girlfriend Brianna, well, one of his girlfriends, Brianna, and he explains to her that the Ghoulie doesn't exist, that he did project these images, and he projected them for his girlfriends to see, but he didn't intend for them to hurt each other. So he obviously feels really bad about it. He's very much aware that he is connecting with his birth mother through these visions. He's also very aware that he's in danger and that everyone around him is in danger. Keep in mind, he's still a kid and he's scared, probably a little bit scared of his abilities because he probably didn't realize that this Ghoulie, which he created and made up, could actually be used to harm someone, that it could be used as a weapon, which is probably why the DOD is after him too, because they realize that these abilities can be used as a weapon, and that probably scares the living shit out of the DOD. Mulder and Scully pull up. They're shown the picture of Jackson. It's confirmed that Jackson is alive, and they go running in to save their boy because they know those DOD agents are out there to do some bad stuff. And you know what? When that happened, I was probably screaming and cheering at my television. Go get your kid! And he's running around the hospital, and the bad guys are coming for him, and Mulder and Scully are running, and you see all this stuff happen, and you just like, they're so close. They're so close. We also see in action him actually projecting the image of the Ghoulie, the monster, on these guys that are after him, which is pretty freaking awesome. You're on the edge of your seat at this point. This was very, very suspenseful. And then we see it again. You see him take a second and use his powers to project the image of Scully shooting the other agents, and they end up shooting each other. And we think Scully's dead there for a second, and she's not. Whoa, that was just like such an exciting moment to know he did that. I wanted to applaud at that point. I'd like to know what you guys thought about this moment because I thought that was just fucking awesome. There would have been nothing more satisfying to see him run into their arms. I really wanted him to come out and have that reunion. Obviously we didn't get that, and he projected the image of the nurse. It's a heartbreaking thing for us as the viewers because we want that for these characters so much. And to see the disappointment on their faces when they come out and they realize he's long gone and he's gotten away, it was a sad feeling. When they stopped at the gas station and the man appeared again, I knew at that point, the way he said, "Are you following me? This is him. It's him." I just like, oh my god, I was trying so hard not to cry, like thinking about it. I can't. I wish I could know you better. And you seem like a nice person. That was so sweet. And oh my god, I'm crying. I'm trying not to cry about this. When you go back and watch it a second time, it's hard for me to watch. Going back and watching this a second time and knowing what we know, it's even harder for me to watch. This whole scene is so well done. The way it's shot, the way it's played is just brilliant. Kudos to both of them. When Scully says she recognizes the guy as the author of the book, when she makes that aha moment and then repeats the quote that he said to her to Mulder, which was a Malcolm X quote, and then the two of them take a second and realize, holy shit, and they go running out to the road, and the way the whole camera kind of pans around them, and oh my god, I'm trying so hard not to cry. So the look on their faces when Scully looks in the camera and we see that scene play out as Jackson, as William, then the hand on the shoulder with Mulder and his hand on her shoulder, and the look on both of their faces is just so brilliant. It's so well played, and this is the X-Files that we love. Oh my god. Okay, so this is the X-Files that we love, and it's heart-wrenching as it is. It's still, you guys, I'm a fucking mess. I'm getting teary-eyed just thinking about this. This is rough, man. That is just such a touching moment. My heart is hurting. Guys, I'd love to hear what you think. I'm gonna wrap this up and let you guys know that it's been quite a journey. We are halfway through the season, and I look forward to the rest of this journey with you guys. Thank you for watching. I'm still crying. My Phantom Police diss track actually has a whole sketch to go with it, so it's not just a song. There's a whole sketch. There's gonna be a music video. I promise it'll be worth it. Thanks again for watching, guys. Big hug to everybody. If you want more X-Files content, subscribe. I'll try to post more stuff. I'm looking forward to next week's episode. Until next week, I'll talk to you guys later. Bye-bye.